All right, so today we're diving into AI image generators and specifically how they're being used in advertising in 2025. It's a fast-moving space, so we want to bring you up to speed on the best tools out there and how they're being used and why they even matter. Our source for this deep dive is an article called AI Image Generators, Top Choices for Advertising in 2025. And one of the things that really blew my mind in this article was that some of these tools can generate images from just a few words.
Yeah.
It's like no more, endless scrolling through stock photos.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
So let's jump in and see what we can uncover. What's the biggest shift you're seeing with AI image generators right now?
Well, I think the biggest shift we're seeing is how AI is being used to actually create images from scratch. This isn't just about touching up photos anymore. Imagine being able to dream up a visual type in a few descriptive words and have an AI generate that image for you.
Yeah, it sounds like magic almost. Like it's too good to be true. But that's exactly what these tools are capable of. And the article we're looking at lists the top 10 AI image generators that are making waves in the advertising world right now. But for someone just starting out, where should they even begin? There are so many options.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's a really common question people have. There are so many tools out there, and so it can be overwhelming. But the good news is you don't need to be a tech whiz to use these tools. Two that stand out for their user-friendliness are Canva and Crayon.
Okay, Canva. A lot of people are already familiar with Canva for graphic design, right?
Exactly. Canva is great because they've integrated AI image generation directly into their platform. So it's very, very easy to use, even if you're a complete beginner. Plus, they have a free plan so you can experiment without, having to spend any money.
That's always good. Free is always good. Okay, what about Crayon? What makes it stand out?
Crayon is also known for being very simple to use. You literally just type in a few words describing the image you want, and poof, the AI gets to work. And they also have a free plan, so that makes it accessible for people who want to kind of, test it out before maybe investing in a paid plan.
So it sounds like these tools aren't just for tech-savvy designers anymore. Anyone can use them to create visuals for their advertising.
Yeah, absolutely. That's one of the things that's so exciting about this technology. It's really leveling the playing field and making creativity accessible to everyone, even if you don't have a big budget for a professional designer.
That's a huge plus, I think, for smaller businesses and individuals.
Yeah.
So we're talking about Canva and Crayon. Let's dig a little deeper into these tools. What are some of their strengths and weaknesses? How do they compare to each other?
Sure. Well, Canva's AI image generator benefits from being deeply integrated with their existing design tools. So, you can very easily create a visual and then use Canva's features to further customize it or add text, or you can even incorporate it into a larger design.
So it's more of a one-stop shop than for
Yeah.
all of your visual needs.
Exactly. Yeah. It's very convenient. Crayon, on the other hand, is more focused on the image generation itself. It might not have the same level of design flexibility as Canva, but it's known for being very intuitive and generating some pretty impressive results. So if you're, really just looking for a tool to quickly generate high-quality images, Crayon is a great option.
So it really depends on your needs and your workflow then to decide which tool might be the best fit for you.
Yeah, exactly.
What about the quality of the images themselves? Are we talking about, really basic graphics, or can these tools create something that looks professional and high-end?
Well, the quality can vary depending on the tool and the complexity of the image that you're trying to create. But some of these AI image generators are capable of producing incredibly realistic and artistic visuals. Like, for example, Midjourney.
Yeah, Midjourney. That's another one that we see on that top 10 list in the article.
Right.
What's different about Midjourney?
Midjourney is known for its kind of artistic flair. It's really popular for creating these really imaginative, almost dreamlike visuals. So if you're looking for something unique and attention-grabbing, Midjourney might be a good one to check out.
So if I wanted something really outside the box, and I wanted something kind of unique and eye-catching, Midjourney would be the way to go.
Yeah, it's definitely worth checking out. One thing to keep in mind, though, is that Midjourney does have a steeper learning curve than Canva or Crayon. It uses a platform called Discord for its interface, and that can be a bit intimidating for beginners.
Right. Okay, so there's a trade-off there, more creative possibilities, but it might take a bit longer to get the hang of it.
Exactly.
I'm still trying to wrap my head around how all of this actually works. How does an AI learn to create images? Like, is it some kind of, magic in the background?
It's a little bit mind-boggling, isn't it? A lot of these tools use a technology called generative adversarial networks, or GANs for short.
Yeah.
Yeah, GANs. They're pretty cool. It essentially involves two AI algorithms that kind of work together. So you have one algorithm that's called the generator, and this one tries to create images. And then you have another algorithm called the discriminator, and this one judges the quality of those images. And they learn from each other through this process of trial and error. And that's how they constantly improve the realism and the quality of the output.
So they're kind of in competition with each other almost, like trying to outdo each other.
Yeah, that's a good way to think about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like this constant competition between the two algorithms. And the results are pretty amazing. We're seeing AI generating images that are almost indistinguishable from photographs taken by humans.
Wow. Okay. So that's pretty incredible. But also makes me wonder, what does this mean for professional photographers and designers? Are they going to be replaced by robots?
Yeah, that's a question that a lot of people have. It's understandable. But I think, it's more likely that AI is going to become a tool that kind of enhances human creativity rather than replacing it altogether.
So it's more about working together than in competition.
Exactly. Yeah. Think of it as having an AI assistant that can help you generate ideas or create drafts or explore different creative possibilities. But ultimately, the human artist, still has that final say in the creative process.
That's a good way to think about it. I'd hate to see, human creativity be completely overtaken by technology. So I'm glad that it's more of a partnership.
Yeah, definitely.
I am curious about some of the other benefits of using AI image generators for advertising. We've talked about how it can save money. But what are some other benefits beyond just, the cost savings?
Well, I think one of the biggest advantages is the ability to personalize ads at scale.
Personalization.
Yeah.
Okay. So how does that work with AI images?
Well, imagine being able to create an ad that features an image that's specifically tailored to each individual viewer's interests.
That's impressive. That's some next level targeting. But how's that even possible with AI?
Well, AI can analyze huge amounts of data about, individual consumers, like their demographics or their browsing history, their purchase behavior. And then it can use that data to generate images that are most likely to resonate with that specific person.
So, for example, like if I'm somebody who loves travel and adventure, I might see an ad that has like a stunning mountain vista or, a tropical beach. But if I'm somebody who's, more into fashion, I might see an ad with the latest clothing trends.
Exactly, yeah. It's about creating visuals that speak directly to the individual and that makes the ad much more engaging and effective.
It feels like we're just kind of scratching the surface of what's possible with this technology.
Yeah, we really are. I think as AI continues to evolve, we can expect even more, innovative applications in the advertising world.
So this is all super fascinating, and I'm already starting to see the potential here. But before we get too carried away with, all of the amazing things that we could do, let's take a step back and talk about some of the practicalities of using these tools. What are some things that people should keep in mind when they're choosing an AI image generator for their advertising?
Yeah.
And how do they actually, use these tools effectively? Okay, so we talked about some of these leading AI image generators, how they work, some of the big names out there. Now let's get down to, brass tacks here. If somebody's listening to this and they're like, okay, I want to try this out, what are some things that they should consider when they're choosing the right AI image generator for their advertising needs?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think, first off, you really need to think about, what are you trying to achieve with your visuals? Are you going for photorealism? Are you looking for something more artistic and stylized? Or maybe you need a tool that's great at creating, quick social media graphics?
Yeah, because not all AI image generators are created equal. They all kind of have their specialties, like you were saying earlier, with Midjourney being great for those imaginative, dreamlike images.
Exactly. So, really aligning your needs with the tool's strengths is really key. And then also, you think about the learning curve. Some tools are very user-friendly, like we talked about Canva, but others, like Midjourney with that Discord interface, might take a little bit more time to master.
Yeah. So it's kind of like choosing the right tool for the job, right? You wouldn't use a hammer to screw in a light bulb.
Exactly. And don't forget to factor in your budget. Some tools offer free plans with limited features, while others have, subscription models with varying price points.
So do your research. Compare features. Compare pricing. Maybe even try out a few free trials before you commit to a specific tool.
Yeah, absolutely. It's all about finding that right fit for your workflow and your budget. So now let's say you've chosen your tool, you're ready to go. How do you actually use it, to create those effective advertising visuals?
Yeah, let's break that down, because I imagine it's not just typing in, make me a cool ad and calling it a day.
You'd be surprised. Some tools are getting pretty good at understanding general requests, but to really leverage the power of AI image generation, you need to be specific. You need to be descriptive in your prompts.
Prompts. Okay, so we're talking about like giving the AI instructions, basically.
Exactly. Yeah. Think of it as guiding the AI's, artistic vision. So instead of just saying, create a travel ad, you might say, create a vibrant image of a family hiking through a lush rainforest with a waterfall in the background.
So the more detail you provide, the better the AI can understand what you're looking for.
Precisely. And don't be afraid to get creative with your prompts. You can even use prompts to kind of evoke certain emotions or tell a story through the image.
Oh, I like that. So it's almost like you're working with a human artist, but instead of like sketching out ideas, you're using words to guide the AI's creation.
Yeah, that's a great analogy. And just like with a human artist, there's often that back and forth process, right? So you might generate an image. Then you refine your prompt based on those results. And then you generate again until you're happy with that final product.
So it's about iterating and experimenting until you get that desired outcome.
Exactly. So now once you have your AI-generated image, it's time to actually put it to work in your advertising campaigns.
Okay, so let's talk about application then. Where do these AI-generated visuals really shine in advertising?
Well, social media is a huge one. Imagine being able to create eye-catching visuals that are tailored to each platform's unique aesthetic. Something bold and colorful might work great for Instagram, whereas something more informative and text-heavy might be better suited for Facebook.
And since social media is all about grabbing attention quickly, having those unique and engaging visuals is super important. I can also see these being really useful for email marketing.
Oh, absolutely. Instead of using, generic stock photos, you could create visuals that are specifically tailored to each subscriber's interests, and that just makes your emails more personalized and more effective.
It's all about making that visual connection, standing out, in a crowded inbox. What about things like website banners, landing pages? Those are prime real estate for visuals.
Yeah, for sure. AI can help you create banners that are not only visually appealing, but also highly targeted to the specific audience that's visiting your website.
And since AI can analyze all that user data, it could create banners that dynamically change based on, the person's preferences or their browsing history. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, it is. It is. And the applications go even beyond just digital marketing. Imagine using AI to create, stunning visuals for print ads, brochures, or even billboards.
So basically, anywhere you need a visual AI can potentially step in and help you create something that's unique and impactful.
Exactly. Now, while the possibilities with AI image generation are really exciting, it's also important to use these tools strategically.
That's a great point. What are some best practices for incorporating AI-generated visuals into your advertising?
Well, I think first and foremost, always make sure that the image aligns with your brand identity. Don't just use a cool visual for the sake of it. It needs to fit your brand's aesthetic. It needs to fit your message.
Right, so it's not just about being flashy. It's about using those visuals to tell a cohesive brand story.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Second, you want to make sure that your AI-generated images are high quality and properly formatted for the intended platform. A blurry or pixelated image isn't going to do you any favors.
And since different platforms have different, image size requirements, you're going to want to make sure that your visual looks sharp no matter where it's being displayed.
Absolutely. And finally, don't forget about the human touch. While AI can generate these incredible visuals, it's still important to have a human eye overseeing the process, making those creative decisions and ensuring that the final product really meets your specific needs.
So again, it goes back to that partnership that we were talking about earlier. It's AI as a tool to enhance human creativity, not to replace it.
Exactly.
But as powerful as these tools are there any potential downsides or limitations to using AI image generators for advertising?
Yeah, that's a great question. And like with any technology, there are things to be aware of. I think one potential downside is that, the images can sometimes feel a little bit generic or unoriginal if you're not careful with your prompts and with your customization.
Right, because the AI is drawing from, a massive database of images and styles. So there is that chance of ending up with something that looks similar to what's already out there.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why it's so crucial to experiment with different prompts, tweak the settings, and really add your own personal touch to make those images truly unique. Another potential limitation is that AI still struggles with creating certain types of images, like those that require a deep understanding of human emotions or complex compositions.
So for now, at least, there are still some areas where human artists have the upper hand.
For now, yes. But, AI is constantly learning and evolving, so who knows what the future holds. But I think it's important to remember that, AI image generation is still a relatively new technology.
So it's constantly, evolving, improving, which is
Yeah.
really exciting, but also means we need to stay informed about the latest developments and best practices.
For sure. Now, looking ahead, what trends and advancements in AI image generation do you think are going to have the biggest impact on advertising in the coming years?
Hmm. That's a great question to ponder.
Yeah.
I think one of the things that I'm really intrigued by is that AI-powered personalization at scale.
Hmm.
I think we're just going to see that become even more sophisticated and integrated into advertising campaigns.
I agree. And I think the integration of AI with other technologies like augmented reality and virtual reality could open up some really interesting possibilities for creating immersive and interactive ad experiences.
Whoa. So we're talking about, consumers could potentially try on clothes virtually using AI-generated images or, even step into a virtual world created by an AI.
Exactly. Yeah, the possibilities are really endless. But, before we get too far into the future, I think it's good to kind of bring it back to the present. What's one key takeaway that our listeners should remember as they start exploring this world of AI image generators for advertising?
I think the most important thing is to approach this technology with a sense of curiosity and experimentation. Don't be afraid to play around, test different tools, see what works best for you. Who knows? You might just discover your new secret weapon for creating stunning visuals that take your advertising to the next level.
Yeah, well said. And remember, this is a rapidly evolving field. So, staying informed about the latest advancements and best practices is crucial.
Right. Continuous learning is key. Now, I know we've covered a lot of ground today, from, the technical aspects of AI image generation to the practical applications to future possibilities. But I want to make sure that our listener feels empowered to take action.
Yeah.
So what are some practical steps our listener can take today to start incorporating AI image generation into their advertising strategy?
Well, I think, first I would say identify a specific advertising need where a visual could make a real impact. Maybe it's a social media campaign, an email newsletter, a website banner. Then choose one of the AI image generators that we've talked about. Sign up for a free trial or a free plan and just start experimenting.
Love that. Hands-on experience is the best way to learn.
Exactly. Yeah. Don't be afraid to play around with different prompts, explore the customization options, and just see what you can create.
And remember, there's a whole community of AI image generation enthusiasts out there. So don't hesitate to connect with others. Share your experiences and learn from each other.
Yeah, that's a great point. Collaboration and knowledge sharing are really key in this rapidly evolving field. Now, before we wrap up, I want to address something that often comes up when we talk about AI, and that's the fear of technology replacing human jobs.
Yeah, it's a valid concern, especially in a field like advertising, where creativity is so central.
For sure. But I think it's important to kind of reframe that fear as an opportunity. AI is a powerful tool, but it's not a replacement for human ingenuity and intuition.
Right. So it's not about, humans versus machines. It's more about humans with machines.
Exactly. By embracing this collaborative mindset, we can really harness the power of AI to, enhance our creativity, streamline our workflows, and ultimately create advertising that is, more engaging, more effective, and more impactful than ever before.
I think that's a really empowering way to look at it. Instead of fearing the unknown, let's embrace the possibilities that AI offers and figure out how we can use it to our advantage. But I'm also curious about the impact this technology could have on the advertising industry as a whole. Do you think AI image generation will fundamentally change how advertising works?
I think it already is. One of the biggest shifts we're seeing is this move away from, generic one-size-fits-all advertising toward more personalized and targeted campaigns. And AI is a big part of that.
We've talked a lot about that today. You know how AI can create visuals that are tailored to individual preferences. But how does that impact the way that advertisers think about their campaigns?
Well, traditionally, advertisers would create, a single ad or a set of ads that they would then blast out to this wide audience.
Right.
But with AI, they can now create, hundreds, even thousands of variations of an ad, each one tailored to a specific demographic or interest group.
So it's like creating a unique ad for each person who sees it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's incredibly powerful.
That's incredible. But wouldn't that be incredibly time-consuming and expensive?
You know, that's the beauty of AI. It can automate that process. So it makes it possible to create and deliver these personalized ads at scale without breaking the bank.
So it's not just about making ads more effective, it's also about making the process of creating and delivering those ads more efficient.
Exactly. And you know that efficiency frees up advertisers to focus on other important aspects of their campaigns, like strategy messaging and brand building.
So it's kind of like having an AI assistant that takes care of all the heavy lifting so you can focus on the bigger picture.
Yeah.
But I'm wondering, what about the role of human creativity in this new world of, AI-powered advertising?
Yeah.
Is there still a place for, human artists and designers?
Oh, absolutely. In fact, I think the role of human creativity becomes even more important in this context. AI can generate visuals, but it can't replace the human ability to understand emotions, to tell stories, and to connect with an audience on a deeper level.
So it's not about choosing between AI or human creativity, it's about finding the right balance between the two.
Exactly, yeah. Think of it as a collaboration. Human artists can use AI as a tool to explore new ideas, to generate concepts, to kind of prep the boundaries of their creativity. And AI can benefit from human guidance and direction to create visuals that are not only aesthetically pleasing, but also meaningful and impactful.
It's almost like a symbiotic relationship where both sides benefit. But I'm wondering, as AI image generation becomes more prevalent in advertising, how do you think it will impact consumers? Will they even notice the difference?
I think consumers will definitely notice. For one thing, they'll start seeing ads that are more relevant to their interests and their needs. And, because these ads will be more visually appealing, more engaging, they're more likely to capture attention and make a lasting impression.
So instead of just feeling bombarded by irrelevant ads, consumers will start to see ads that they actually find interesting and valuable.
Exactly. And as AI gets better at understanding individual preferences, those ads will become even more personalized and effective.
It's like having a personal shopper for your advertising experience.
Yeah.
But also wondering, is there a risk of this level of personalization feeling intrusive or creepy?
That's a valid concern, and I think it's important for advertisers to be really mindful of how they use this technology and to avoid crossing that line into, feeling invasive.
Transparency is key. Consumers should know when they're interacting with AI-powered advertising, and they should have control over their data and their preferences.
Absolutely. It's all about building trust and ensuring that consumers feel comfortable with this new level of personalization.
So as we kind of move forward with this technology, it's important to have these conversations about ethics and responsibility.
Couldn't agree more. Now, as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave our listeners with a sense of optimism and excitement about the future of advertising. AI image generation is just one example of how technology is transforming this industry. And it's really opening up new possibilities for creativity, for personalization, for efficiency.
Yeah. It's a really exciting time to be in advertising. And for our listeners who are eager to explore this new world, what's one piece of advice you'd give them?
Don't be afraid to jump in and experiment, There are so many incredible tools available, and most of them offer free trials or free plans. So pick a tool, play around with it, and see what you can create. You might be surprised at how easy and fun it is to generate, really stunning visuals with AI.
I love that. Embrace the learning curve, have fun with it. And remember, this is a rapidly evolving field, so staying curious, informed, and connected with the community is key.
Well, I think we've covered a lot of ground today, from the technical aspects of AI image generation to the practical applications to the future possibilities. And I want to thank you so much for joining us and sharing your expertise with us today.
It's been my pleasure. And to our listeners, thank you for joining us on this journey of discovery. Keep exploring, keep learning, and keep pushing those boundaries of creativity. This is The Deep Dive signing off.
Yeah.
I think that's a really great way to look at it. Instead of being afraid, let's just kind of embrace it and figure out how we can use it to our advantage. But I'm curious about, the impact that this is going to have on the industry as a whole. Do you think that AI image generation is going to fundamentally change the way that advertising works?
I think it already is.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
In what ways?
Well, I think one of the biggest shifts is just, this move away from generic one-size-fits-all advertising toward more personalized and targeted campaigns.
Yeah.
And AI is a big part of that.
We've talked about that, how AI can create those visuals tailored to individual preferences. But how does that impact, the way that advertisers are actually thinking about their campaigns?
Well, traditionally, advertisers would create a single ad or a set of ads that they would then just blast out to a wide audience.
Right.
But with AI, you can create hundreds, even thousands of variations of an ad, each one tailored to a specific demographic or interest group.
So it's almost like creating a unique ad for each person who sees it.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's incredibly powerful.
That's amazing. But wouldn't that be incredibly time-consuming and expensive to do?
Well, and that's the beauty of AI, right? It can automate that process. So it makes it possible to create and deliver these personalized ads at scale without breaking the bank.
So it's not just about making the ads more effective. It's about making the process of creating and delivering them more efficient as well.
Exactly. And that efficiency frees up advertisers to really focus on other important aspects of their campaigns, like strategy messaging and brand building.
So it's like having an AI assistant who's doing all the heavy lifting for you so that you can really focus on the bigger picture.
Exactly.
What about the role of human creativity, though, in this new world of AI advertising? Is there still a place for human artists and designers?
Absolutely. In fact, I think the role of human creativity becomes even more important in this context. AI can generate visuals, but it can't replace the human ability to understand emotions, to tell stories, to connect with an audience on a deeper level.
So it's not about choosing between AI or human creativity. It's about finding that right balance between the two.
Exactly. Think of it as a collaboration. Human artists can use AI as a tool to explore new ideas, to generate concepts, to kind of push the boundaries of their creativity. And AI can benefit from human guidance and direction to create visuals that are not only aesthetically pleasing, but also meaningful and impactful.
It really is a partnership then. It's like we were talking about before, where both sides can benefit from this kind of arrangement. I'm wondering, though, as AI image generation becomes more common in advertising, how do you think that's going to impact consumers? Will they even notice the difference?
I think consumers will definitely notice. For one thing, they'll start seeing ads that are more relevant to their interests and their needs. And, because these ads will be more visually appealing, more engaging, they're more likely to kind of capture attention and make a lasting impression.
So instead of feeling bombarded by all these irrelevant ads that we see all the time, they'll start to see ads that they actually, find interesting.
Exactly. Yeah. And as AI gets better at understanding individual preferences, those ads are going to become even more personalized and effective.
So it's almost like having a personal shopper for your advertising experience.
Yeah.
But is there a risk, though, of, this level of personalization feeling intrusive or even creepy?
Yeah, and that's a valid concern. I think it's important for advertisers to be really mindful of how they use this technology and to avoid crossing that line into, feeling invasive.
Yeah, transparency, I think, is key there. Consumers should know when they're interacting with AI-powered advertising. They should have control over their data and their preferences.
Absolutely. It's all about building trust and ensuring that consumers feel comfortable with this new level of personalization.
So as we move forward with this technology, I think it's important to have these conversations, about the ethics and the responsibility.
Couldn't agree more. Now, as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave our listeners with a sense of optimism and excitement about the future of advertising. AI image generation is just one example of how technology is transforming the industry. It's opening up all these new possibilities for creativity, for personalization, for efficiency.
It's a really exciting time to be in advertising. And for our listeners who are eager to kind of explore this new world, what's one piece of advice you'd give them?
Don't be afraid to jump in and experiment. There are so many incredible tools available. Most of them offer free trials or free plans. So pick a tool, play around with it, and see what you can create. You might be surprised at how easy and fun it is to generate, these stunning visuals with AI.
I love that. Embrace the learning curve. Have fun. And remember, this is a rapidly evolving field. So, stay curious, informed, and connected with the community is key.
Well, I think we've covered a lot of ground today. From the technical aspects of AI image generation to the practical applications, the future possibilities. It's been a really great conversation. Thank you so much for joining us and sharing your expertise with us today.
Oh, it's been my pleasure. And to our listeners, thank you for joining us on this journey of discovery. Keep exploring, keep learning, keep pushing those boundaries of creativity.
This is The Deep Dive signing off.